everybody. Welcome to Hot and Rich, a show about celebrities. I'm your host, Kate Raft. It's Friday. It's June 5th, 2020. And thank you so much for tuning into the show. I really, really appreciate it. We are having a horny Friday, okay? But before we jump headfirst into horny Friday, I do want to just do another quick plug, okay? I plug. It's not a plug. This isn't a plug. I just want to say that I want to give my appreciation to everyone who's protesting right now and involved and standing in solidarity with and in the Black Lives Matter movement. Thank you, everybody, for such amazing work that everybody's doing. And I wanted to say that today would have been Breonna Taylor's 27th birthday, but she's not here because she was murdered by police in her own home. No officers have been charged. It's really tragic, and a big reason why people are talking about her today is because it would have been her 27th birthday, and we should say her name, Breonna Taylor. We can't forget what happened to her. It's gruesome. It's horrible. And I'm going to link the donation page for her family. It's a GoFundMe account. The money goes directly to Breonna Taylor's family. It's in the show notes of this episode, and it's also, I retweeted it from the Hot and Rich show account on Twitter. So please consider throwing them some money or doing anything to support the Black Lives Matter movement right now. It's important. It's really important. And I wanted to shout that out because the rest of this episode is going to be about celebrities, okay? And we have to talk about these things, and we also have to talk about celebrities. All right. It's Horny Friday. Horny Friday has officially begun. Rest in power, Breonna Taylor. Here, you know what? I'll dedicate my drink to the movement. I'm having a sake today. It's old. We're out of alcohol in my house. Usually I like to have a toast with you, the audience, on Fridays because it is Horny Friday. But I ran out of alcohol. My husband, he's taken a break from drinking, and I am now the only drinker in the house. And I was going to go to the liquor store and buy some wine the other day, and it was too crowded. You can't go to a crowded liquor store these days. So I said, screw it. I have stuff at home. It turns out I don't have that much. Okay, I have a bunch of room temperature Coors Light, and I have some old sake. Okay, so it's half consumed. I don't know how long this half open bottle of sake has been sitting in the fridge, but I'm gonna pour myself a little cup, and let's do a little Horny Friday toast. Okay, this is for all of you out there. Cheers. Happy Horny Friday. Welcome to Hot and Rich. Let's do a little sip. Oh, it's still good. It doesn't taste like it's hasn't turned. The sake is still good. Delicious. Shout out to the chat. Thank you all for being here. Whew. Wow. Okay, I've had a crazy day. Before I get into celebrities, I went to give my dog a grooming session at the local dog groomers. You know, my dog has very fluffy fur. She needs to get it like trimmed more often than regular dogs or whatever. And she needs her butthole, puked out or whatever. That's gross. Sorry. It's true though. You got to puke out a dog's butthole every so often. And I'm not doing that to myself. Shout out to Kenny, my daughter Kenny. She's so tiny. She got all her fluffy fur cut off. Anyway, I'm like picking her up at the dog groomers, and like I bend over to grab her, and like everyone can see I'm like wearing pajamas. I look like shit. I come home and realize I have the biggest period stain on my PJs, and I like showed like it was busy at the dog groomers. It was busy there. It was a busy day. A lot of people getting their dogs groomed. they all saw my nasty, nasty, nasty display of menstrual blood. Disgusting. But also, maybe I should choose to not be ashamed by that. Maybe I should decide right here and right now on Horny Friday to be horny for my own period stains. Yeah, that's right. I'm horny for you, period stain. I mean, I'm not going to show it on this show. Nothing hot and rich about my period stains, but I'm horny for it. So cheers to me. Cheers to my period stains. Hell yeah. It's bloody. It's nasty. It'll come out, though. You just got to put some cleaner on it, you know, do laundry. Shout out to all my bleeders out there. Shout out to anyone who's bleeding during a pandemic. Shout out to everybody. Bleeders and non-bleeders. Jack's yawning. He's so bored about me talking about my period. He's yawning. Is your mic hot, Jack? Okay, good. Keep it off. I don't want people to hear your yawn at my boring period content. Okay. All right. You know what? Let's do a segment of the show that I like to call Hot Seconds. Okay, this is Hot Seconds. These are all topics I'm going to talk about, but I'm just going to talk about them for a hot second. Okay, let's talk about this. Kanye West has donated $2 million to various causes aligned with the Black Lives Matter movement, which includes a college savings fund to fully cover the tuition for George Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. And he's also done separate donations to contribute to legal funds to Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor's families. He also showed up to the Black Lives Matter protests in Chicago. Here he is marching, I believe, with Chicago public schools. I mean, this is good. This is the first... Listen, I don't want to call Kanye a Kardashian. He's Kanye West. He's his own person. But this is the first person in the Kardashian orbit to show up to one of these protests. Still waiting on Kim. And Kendall didn't bring a Pepsi yet or anything, but maybe she sent one with Kanye when he hopped on the jet from Hidden Hills. I don't know. This is good. I like this. He's not like giving a public statement. He's just giving money. And like, we love to see that. We love when celebrities go to protests. We love when they give money. That's all we need, baby. That's all we need. And have messy breakups. All I need from celebrities right now is to have a really messy breakup just to entertain me. And to go to protests and to give money. Those three things, that's great. That's fun. That gives me life. I love to see celebrities at protests. And if you're watching the show and you see a celebrity at a protest, either up close or you saw it online or whatever, feel free to DM it to me. I'd love to feature it on the show. I usually catch it in the celebrity news cycle, that is what's great about celebrities showing up to Black Lives Matter protests and demonstrations, is that like when they show up, it ends up in the Daily Mail. It ends up in Us Weekly. Like it ends up breaking through the celebrity news cycle. So all these people like myself, but also many, many people that normally wouldn't get this news about what's going on with Black Lives Matter, it gets into their news feeds. It pops into their little phones because it's part of the celebrity news cycle now. That's why it's good. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we're still waiting on Kendall to crack the Pepsi can. I mean, she could have solved all of this if she just brought her magic Pepsi, but I guess, maybe she's running to the store. Maybe she's in line. Maybe the store is out of Pepsi. You know, the Ralph's in Calabasas, it's a very nice Ralph's. You should try the Ralph's in Calabasas, Kendall, if you're looking to find a place that has Pepsi. I'm sure they have it. It's an extremely nice Ralph's. It's like the kind of Ralph's. Do you have Ralph's all over the country, or is it just a California thing? Kroger, I think it's the same. Like, you go to Ralph's, some Ralph's are like, mwah. Some Ralph's are like, mwah. And the Ralph's in Calabasas is like, I've never seen a Ralph's like it. Kroger? How do you say it? I don't know. Imagine that it's like a Kroger. It has like cast iron skillets. Do you ever go to like a grocery store that has cast iron skillets and you're like, damn, I'm in a rich neighborhood. Like, holy shit. Anyway, try the Ralphs in the Calabasas Commons, Kendall. It's good. It's a good Ralph's. I could go to that Ralph's for hours. Trust me. This isn't even SpawnCon. This actually, Ralph's, the Calabasas Commons Ralph's, feel free to sponsor this show. Please, by all means. I'll do SpawnCon. Use code Hot and Rich for 10% off your grapes. Oh my God. Wow. I got all horned up for Ralph's for a second. I gotta take another sip of sake. Just call me Cate Raft today, everybody. Cate Raft. All right, good for Kanye. This is good shit. Let's talk about Cate Blanchett. Apparently, she got nicked in the head with a chainsaw. Cate Blanchett, she's having a rough week. She got nicked in the head with a chainsaw. Let me just say that one more time. Cate Blanchett is having a rough week because Cate Blanchett got nicked in the head with a chainsaw. Let me say that in an Australian accent in case any Australians are listening. Cate Blanchett is having a rough week because Cate Blanchett got nicked in the head with a chainsaw. With a chainsaw. She talked about this on a podcast with the Prime Minister of Australia, Julia Gillard. She literally said, and I quote, "I had a bit of a chainsaw accident yesterday, which sounds very, very exciting, but it wasn't. Apart from the little nick to my head, we're fine." End quote. Did you remember that Cate Blanchett's Australian? Because I always remember. I always remember. Anyway, she didn't say why she was nicked in the head with the chainsaw. She just said that she's okay. I want to know what she was doing. I didn't know what she was. I want to know, what are you doing with the chainsaw? I want to know. I just picture her using a chainsaw and like just fucking making like, just doing like woodwork or something and like just making it so elegant because it's Cate Blanchett. She's probably wearing like these really nice gloves while she does it. I have no idea. Or maybe she's like sawing people's heads off. I have no idea. Maybe she's in the outback. The outback? I don't know. I lost it. I did the accent, then I lost it. Okay. Okay, this next hot second is about Law Roach. Law Roach is one of the stylists from that new HBO Max show, Legendary. It's the show, I think, is that the one that Jamila Jamil is on or whatever? Anyway, Law Roach is one of the stylists. Law Roach is also the legendary stylist icon that like partnered with Celine Dion and completely leveled up her fashion. You know how Celine Dion like used to not be known for being a fashion icon, and now every time we see a picture of her, she's like in like straight off the runway, like haute couture. That's because of Law Roach. So yes, I have to say, I think we stand Law Roach. Anyway, I just liked this quote. Law Roach talked to Page Six and gave a quote about lootings that are happening. Law Roach said, and I quote, "I don't think the motivation in going to Chanel is, I want a Chanel bag. I think the motivation is saying, fuck you to a hierarchy, to the people that made me feel like you don't belong here. I don't think that any of those kids there or any person that was black went into the stores with that motivation of just having it, to just have it. I don't think people are going to go to Rolex to keep a Rolex. I think they're going to Rolex to steal a Rolex so they can feed their fucking family." End quote. Law Roach rules. This is awesome. Also, I just love like this article was just Law Roach like talking to Page Six. Like I love that that what's going on right now with Black Lives Matter and everything in this revolution that we're in. I mean, knock on wood that it's a revolution. I believe that it is like making it so Law Roach has the ability to be on page 6 talking about this stuff. Like, that's great. That's hot and rich, baby. Feed your families. Do what you got to do. Shout out to Law Roach. Love it. Okay. This next hot second. Okay. There's like this concept going on. It started with Leah Michelle. Maybe it didn't start with Leah, but maybe we should call this something. We should call it like doing a Leah Michelle. Like when a celebrity posts like something about Black Lives Matter, like, and then gets called out for being extremely racist in the past. Should we call it doing a Leah or something, Jack? Pulling a Leah? Should we call it pulling a Leah? Gleeking out? No, don't lump all of Glee into this. Pulling a Leah? Getting this you'd. Oh yeah, maybe it's that's already a thing. I've heard of this you'd. Yeah, getting this you'd. Okay, so Stassi and Kristen from Vanderpump Rules got this you'd today. And it's like really bad. It's, I would say, worse than the Leah Michelle thing. It's actually crazy. So Stassi Schroeder and Kristen Doty are two of the stars of Vanderpump Rules, and they actually both have books out. Or I think Stassi had a very successful like New York Times bestselling book, and it launched her into getting a ton of sponsorship deals and da 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 da. So she's fucking loaded. Kristen Doty's also super like loaded off of doing Vanderpump. She's got a t-shirt line and she's got a book coming out that like people are saying might get a movie deal or something. Anyway, so these two people have like capitalized a lot off of being like just terrors on reality TV. Kristen Doty, famously the last person I hugged before quarantine that wasn't my husband, because she was on the set of Quibi's useless celebrity history that I wrote for. So that's not an endorsement. I don't endorse Kristen Doty. In fact, I take that hug back. I take it back. I apologize for that hug that I gave Kristen Doty, and you'll find out why right now. Faith Stowers, who was Kristen and Stassi's ex-coworker at SUR, and also she was briefly on Vanderpump Rules. You might remember Faith. This is not a flattering story, but this is what Faith is famous for. Faith was like one of the like very few Black people to ever be on Vanderpump Rules, and she like had a storyline because she slept with Jax, who was like the villain of the show, and they hooked up, and he was cheating on his girlfriend Brittany, who's now his wife, and they hooked up in front of a woman that she was the caretaker for, and it was like a 98-year-old woman who was like in hospice or something. I'm sorry. Doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the story. That's just the context. It doesn't make what Kristen and Stassi did right. It's literally irrelevant. That's just what she's famous for on the show. Basically, why Kristen and Stassi are in trouble are they called the cops on Faith. They called the police on a Black woman because literally like the most sinister, insidious reason. They saw an article that described a woman who was robbing people, and they thought, that like sounds like Faith. That looks like the girl in the picture kind of looks and sounds like, or like they literally like read an article about like some vague like crime from like a light-skinned Black woman and thought, oh yeah, that's Faith. Let's call the police. And they literally called the police on her for that because they were playing detective for fun. That's so crazy. And do not call the police on Black people. They get killed all the time, every day. What are you doing? This was not even that long ago. I think it's like in the last like few years. Horrible. So Faith went on Instagram Live and called out Stassi and Kristen about this because they had posted Black Lives Matter posts. And Faith said, quote, "There was this article in the Daily Mail where there was an African-American lady. It was a weird photo. So she looked very light-skinned and had these different weird tattoos. I guess this woman was robbing people and they called the cops and said it was me. This is like a true story. I heard this from actually Stassi during an interview," end quote. So that's what Faith said on Instagram Live. And then Stassi also confirmed the story back in 2018 when she was on a podcast proudly admitting to doing this and calling the cops on a black woman. Stassi said, quote, we just solved a fucking crime, end quote. And she was like gloating about how she called the cops on Faith. Faith wasn't this woman. Faith could have been killed. It's horrible. Thank God Faith is okay and alive to tell this story. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, Kristen also admitted to this openly in a tweet that still hasn't even been deleted. This tweet was up as of like an hour ago. Hey, this is from 2018. Hey, Tweeties, doesn't this ex-Pump Rules thief look familiar? Someone put her on MTV and gave her a platform for press. I didn't want to go there, but I'm going there. And then it's a link to the article about a woman robbing people that she's saying it's a blurry-ass photo. She's saying that that's Faith. Racist, evil, reckless, and murder adjacent. Potential murder adjacent. Thank God no one got killed. Makes me so mad. Anyway, Stassi got dropped by 2 different brands, Billy Razors and Ritual Vitamins, and now her bridal column in Glamour magazine is getting axed. So, I mean, those consequences, like, probably should have happened when they openly admitted to this, like in 2018, but it's happening now. So, okay, you got this you'd. Okay, you got this you'd. I haven't checked if they've responded to any of this yet publicly, but I'll update you guys on Monday when I see that. Now let's do a segment that I do every single episode called Are Zach Braff and Florence Pugh Still Together? Yeah. Okay, let's take a break. I'll be back in just a couple hot seconds. I'm back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Okay. We got to talk about the Ashton Kutcher video. I'm sure you all saw this. Let's just watch it together as a family. Okay, let's watch this video.
So on Saturday, I posted a blackout of my social media channels and just posted BLM. And a lot of folks responded, all lives matter. And I want to talk about that a little bit because I don't think that the people that are posting all lives matter should be canceled. I think they should be educated. We all agree all lives matter. But I had a really poignant experience tonight when I was putting my kids down to bed that lent the words for why Black Lives Matter. So usually Mila and I put our kids to bed, we read them a book, and our daughter always gets to go first. And tonight, as we were reading her book, my son says, wait, why don't I get to go first? And Mila said, because girls go first. And he said, yeah, but boys go first. And I looked at him, I said, no, girls go first. And I said, you know why girls go first? For you and me, girls go first. Oh. And the reason why is, for some boys, girls don't get a go at all. And so for you and me, girls go first. So when it comes to Black Lives Matter, I think what folks that are writing All Lives Matter need to understand is that for some people, Black lives don't matter at all. So for us, Black Lives Matter. So while you may have the best intentions in saying all lives matter, remember, for some people, Black lives don't matter at all.
Oh boy. Listen, Ashton, he means well with this post, but it's it is confusing. A lot of people are like, what is he saying? What is he saying? First of all, you shouldn't compare sexism to racism. Okay, that's two different conversations. Unless you're talking about like intersectionality, of course, which it's not what he's doing though. Here's what he says. Here's the part of the quote that I think I've narrowed down the most confusing part. Okay, so he's saying he's putting his kids to bed and he's reading each of his kids their own bedtime stories. So like there's a boy bedtime story and a girl bedtime story. And the boy, the son says, I want to go first. And the daughter's like, and then they're like, no, the girls go first. So here's the quote. For you and me, girls go first. And the reason why is for some boys, girls don't get to go at all. Now that's the part that I think needs some translation. Luckily for you guys, I speak fluent Ashton Kutcher. So when he says, for you and me, girls go first. And the reason why is for some boys, girls don't get to go at all. That, when he says that, he's saying, what he means is, sometimes girls don't get to have a bedtime story. I mean, sometimes in some families, only the boy gets a bedtime story. And the girl has to go to bed with no stories. I don't know if that's happened a lot, but it's definitely happened probably at least once. And Ashton is bringing light to that problem in our culture where we don't read bedtime stories to girls in some families. And it's an issue. Some families, only the boy gets a bedtime story, I guess. I don't think it's deeper than that. I think he's saying sometimes girls don't get a bedtime story. So there you go. And listen, it's good that he's saying, he's kind of getting at the point where getting to the point where you shouldn't say all lives matter. You shouldn't say that. We know that as a culture. Do not say all lives matter. You should say Black Lives Matter. It's a confusing way to say it, but he tried. And I think, he's spreading awareness not just about racial inequality, but also about the fact that in some households, girls don't get to have a bedtime story. Okay? In some households, girls don't get a bedtime story. Okay? Listen to Ashton. He's trying to educate us, I guess. Ooh, A for effort, though. That's an A+ for effort, I would say. All right. We got an Armas update. Oh, thank you, Yokohama Bunny, for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community. Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who subscribes to this channel. If you're listening to this as a podcast and you're looking for ways to support the show, consider subscribing on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch sub a month. You have to redo it every month. So, hey, if you did it in May, it's June now. Try it again. Thank you, Yokohama Bunny. Okay, we've got an Armas update. We love Armas updates. At Armas updates on Twitter is the Stan account for Honor to Armas that we've been following on this show since thank you, Vulgar Lasagna. Okay, I'm going to stay focused. Vulgar Lasagna also gifted some subs, so thank you, Vulgar Lasagna. Armas Updates is the Stan account for Honor to Armas. We love them. We stan the Stan account. And I love this post from today. Armas Updates posted a picture of a cardboard cutout of Ana de Armas just chilling on the front lawn of her house. Well, I think it's Ben Affleck's house, but you know what I mean? It's a cardboard cutout. Let me describe this. She's like laying on her stomach. She's kind of like looking out with her legs kind of flared. Like she looks like a girl at a sleepover being cheeky. She looks cute. So Armas Updates wrote, quote, Ana de Armas trolls the obsessed paparazzi by placing a cardboard cutout version of herself in the front yard of her current residence. And then this is the second tweet. This is the context for why they have a cardboard cutout there. Ben Affleck's kids decided that one Ana de Armas wasn't enough, so they bought a life-size poster cutout for her to play with outside as well. So it's a picture of Ben's kids playing with the cardboard cutout of Anna with Anna. Great. Very cute. They definitely called the paparazzi to take photos of it, right? Or the paparazzi just go there now. I would maybe believe that they've stopped calling the paparazzi because they're just now in a rhythm. It's like, you all know I'm doing this show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4 p.m. Every paparazzo in LA knows that Ben and Anna are going to leave their house at some point around 2 o'clock every day. It's just a schedule. We all get on a certain schedule, you know? Okay. Oh, I just spit on my mic. Very chic. Very horny Friday. In honor of spitting on my mic, I'm going to have some more sake. Okay, sake. Listen, the next thing we have to talk about is Ben Affleck's Finsta. Okay. Do you know what a Finsta is? It's a I think it stands for fake Instagram. I have a Finsta, okay? You'll never find it, bitch. A lot of people do this. They have a fake Instagram that's private where they like only let a certain amount of people follow them. And I have one where I just post like pictures of my running stats. It's truly so embarrassing. But yeah, Ben Affleck has a Finsta. Someone on Twitter found it. Here, let me pull up this tweet here. It's at Kelsey What found Ben Affleck's Finsta. And she wrote, quote, I found Ben Affleck's Finsta. The name is Positive Attitude Hunting. And I love this name because it like, I feel like it's another way of saying Goodwill Hunting. Positive Attitude Hunting, like Goodwill. I don't know. He's obsessed with the word hunting at least. Anyway, the bio says, Ben, just a dad who sometimes makes movies. EasternCongo.org, and the profile picture is like him kissing Anna or Ana de Armas kissing his nose. I love this. EasternCongo.org is his charity. This is great. How do we know it's really him? Because the only people that follow it are three. There's 3 people that follow it. Jen Garner, our queen, who we love. Ana de Armas, and a third person that we don't know. No, that's not his kid kissing him. That's Ana de Armas, right? I'm pretty sure that's Ana. What do you guys think? Go to the bigger one. I think it's Ana. Maybe it's his kid. I'm pretty sure it's like the same hair as Ana. I think his kids are more like blonde. Anna's very petite, okay? She's a petite patootie. She's a petite patootie. She's kid-sized. I think it's Anna. Anyway, so we don't know who the third person that follows him is, but I kind of think it's his older daughter, his oldest daughter, Violet. She's 14 years old. Why do I think it's Violet? Well, look at this photo evidence. It's a picture of Ben and Anna grocery shopping with Violet. And look at Violet's sweatshirt. What does that say? Favorite daughter. She's wearing a sweatshirt that says favorite daughter. Okay, that would explain why he only lets her follow him on Instagram and none of the other kids. I believe it. Listen, I'm just guessing here. This is me being an investigative journalist. Okay. I mean, I requested to follow Ben Affleck on Insta. I requested to follow Positive Attitude Hunting. I'll update you guys if Ben ever approves. I have a feeling he won't. Oh, God. Horny Friday. I'm horny for Ben's Finsta. I'm horny for Ben Affleck's Finstagram. Okay, let's talk about Gabrielle Union. We have an update on her ongoing feud with NBC. Gabrielle Union has filed a new legal complaint against NBC over her firing from America's Got Talent. And I gotta say, I love this. I love, oh, what? Fuzz on the mic? Sorry, someone in the chat, Yokohama Bunny in the chat said fuzz on the mic. White fuzz on the mic. Is that off? Did I get it? It was spit. It was my spit. Everyone saw my period stain earlier. Now everyone saw my spit. We're having a real day here. We're having a day of fun. We're having fun. But now we're going to talk about this feud. I don't even want to call it a feud. I want to call it like Gabrielle Union is speaking truth to power and she rules. Gabrielle Union has filed a new legal complaint against NBC over her firing from America's Got Talent. And I got to say, it's good. This time, I mean, not to take away from the other stuff that was going on before, but she's really not like holding back now. She's not pulling any punches. This legal filing is great. She's holding them accountable. She's calling NBC out for so much shit, and I love to see it. The formal complaints that she filed are against Simon Cowell, NBC Universal, like the entire company, and production companies Fremantle Media and Psycho, which are both owned by Simon Cowell. So we know from her initial filings that she had issues with the show, America's Got Talent, after insiders complained that her hairstyles were, quote, too black. And she also had grievances of racism in the workplace. When she called out Jay Leno making a racist joke, she was basically let go after that. And she also had issues with Simon Cowell where he refused to stop smoking indoors, even though she's allergic to cigarettes. Just a bunch of shady stuff surrounding that show. She called it, in the new filings, she's calling it, quote, she's calling all of NBC, quote, a snake pit of racial offenses. In the filing, she talks about how NBC hired Julianne Hough to be co-host of AGT with her, even though Julianne Hough had done blackface in 2013. The document states, quote, the decision to hire Hough has since proven to be a reflection of NBC's true feelings about the African-American community and blackface. The legal filing also said, quote, NBC is part of the problem. NBC's current attitude towards racism can be deduced from its defense of those individuals who have appeared in blackface, including but not limited to Julianne Hough, Jimmy Fallon, Fred Armisen, and Ted Danson, whom NBC hired multiple times, even after he wore minstrel show blackface and used the N-word publicly. End quote. I love this. She's holding all these people accountable for the fact that they did blackface and got away with it. Good. I say this is good. I mean, I said it just now. I'll say it again. She spoke out about Jay Leno making a racist joke against Koreans eating dogs, which is so gross. And she got fired after that. So she is holding their feet to the fire now. And she's saying, I'm not quitting this fight. I'm going to file another legal complaint against you. Because this is bullshit. You're coddling racists. And this is great that she's doing this. And listen, Gabrielle Union is a major A-list celebrity, but that doesn't mean this is an easy thing for her to do. She's going up against one of the biggest media giants out there, NBC Universal. When she initially called them out back in January, I believe, apparently their family became harassed and under surveillance. Her husband, Dwyane Wade, tweeted, quote, when these negotiations started, my house started being watched and my family started being followed. My daughter couldn't even go to swim class without us being trailed by people looking for answers. Well, y'all have the answer and y'all still don't want to listen to them. End quote. So basically, NBC is denying all of these new claims and saying that they hired a third-party investigator who said that America's Got Talent is fine and everything's good, no problem here. Third-party investigator said we're all peachy. And you know what? That I think is bullshit. I think when a big corporation hires a third-party investigator to make sure everything's peachy keen, you should really take that with a grain of salt. It's almost always a PR stunt to clear their own name. It doesn't have to do with right or wrong at all. Who's paying the investigator? The company. I mean, stupid. NBC's I guess I'll never sell Hot and Rich to NBC. You can't have my show anyway. I'm independent, bitch. Maybe Gabrielle Union will start her own network. I don't know. Hire me, Gabrielle. Just kidding. I don't deserve it. Don't. But I am glad this is happening, and I love to see it. All right. I am going to take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to talk about Reese Witherspoon's new house. I'm back, everybody. Okay, we're going to end today's show with a segment from the fiery pits of celebrity real estate. All right, let's talk about Reese Witherspoon's new house, okay? This was sent into the show by my friend and past guest, Claire Downs. Let's look at this house that Reese bought in the middle of a pandemic. It is an $11 million ugly Tudor-style home. She just sold her other house for $17 million, so I guess this one's 11.9, so she's downgrading. Maybe she's saving up for something. I don't know. It's in Brentwood. It's 8,652 square feet, hidden inside a wooded enclave. Brentwood wooded enclave, I guess. Has 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has a spa. Has a pool, hot tub, obviously. I gotta say, not a good house. Very ugly. Quite a stinker. A stinky little doo-doo. Why do the richest people in the world have horrible taste? Why do you have taste like this? You can have better taste, you know. Do you know you can have better taste? Do you literally know that if you're going to spend $11 million, like, you can make it cute? Like, literally, you could make it cuter than this. Reese, like, come on. Like, hire someone to tell you what's cute, because this ain't it. All right. I like this. Daily Mail was criticizing the house. They said, news of her digs comes after she was scrutinized for reportedly pocketing $6 million from Quibi while the new streaming service was facing layoffs. Yeah, I mean, she made $6 million just by, like, showing up to one day of work where she, like, talked about feminist animals. Everybody Google Fierce Queens, because it's, like, the funniest show description I've ever seen. All right. Listen, I used to work for Quibi, but they're not hiring me back, so I can say whatever I want. At least I don't think they are. I haven't heard either way. Okay, let's look at this house, right? Let's just look at it. Okay, here's the living room. It literally looks like someone made this in, like, The Sims or something. It looks like a video game. Are those photoshopped furniture? Like, did someone just plop in, like, fake photoshopped furniture graphics? Because it does make the whole house look like it's, like, it's just so bland. Let's go to the next one. This is like another sitting room. How many sitting rooms do you need? At least 2. Let's describe it. It's got ugly wooden shit on the top. All white built-in shelves for no reason. Looks stupid. This room sucks. I think it's so bland. Next. Okay, here's a bland kitchen. No style, no soul. Ugly. I would say it's not cute. It doesn't even look that high tech or that big for an $11 million house. It's also a weird angle. It's like a 1, 2, 3, like a pentagon shape. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's ugly. Next. Here's a bathroom, an all-white bathroom with a weird marble shower and, like, a clawfoot tub and, like, a 9-foot tall mirror and a chandelier. Also very plain, very white, but, like, not stylish. Like, it looks bad. There's almost, like, something, like, 80s about this. Is she gonna tear down the whole house? It's truly not cute. Next. Okay, this sucks. This is the worst shot of the whole house. It's the view of the backyard. You can see some grass and then, like, a bunch of, like, tile and then a pool and a hot tub. And then you can see that the house is, like, weird castle shaped. It's like literally looks like an ugly castle, like a castle reject. Yeah, Greggy in the chat says this is a pretty nice Marriott Inn. Yeah, it looks like a Marriott. Like, it's truly not cute. It has like, it's so basic and bad. I wonder if she just bought it because it's like secluded and she's going to tear it down and build something new. Especially because her last house was 17 million. She bought this for 11. So she has whatever left over. Don't make me do the math. Next, next picture. Look at this room. Like shiny black. For some reason, everything in the house is all white. But in this room, they decided to put in slick, shiny, black built-in cabinets. Okay. Horrible. Hellish. And someone put a big wooden table in it to make the room look smaller than it actually is. Apparently. Truly awful. Like, just awful. I guess it's supposed to be a dining room. I don't know why you'd want, like, a media cabinet in a dining room. It literally, like, it doesn't make sense. Next. This is the best. This is why I saved this slide for last. This is what it looks like outside. They couldn't even get the hedges cohesive. Okay, let me describe this for you. It's like, obviously when you're a celebrity, you don't want people to see your house. I get that. So you put up a hedge. But whoever did this hedge, like, fucked up on the first hedge and they had to build like a shorter hedge in front of it. The hedges are not lined up. They're mismatched. They look like they're made of two different plants. One is like lime green. One is dark green. It's ugly. It's so fugly. It's fucking ugly. Rich people do not deserve to have money if they're going to decorate their houses like this with hedges that look like utter shite. You paid $11 million to have a mismatched 2-tier layer cake as your hedge. That looks like a freaking layer cake, and like not a good layer cake, like a layer cake that like you tried to make but you ran out of time. I'm upset. I'm upset. And you bought it during a pandemic when like a lot of people don't have jobs and like can't even eat and like aren't able to pay their rent, but you bought an $11 million house and it's ugly. If you're gonna buy an $11 million house while the rest of us can't afford to pay rent, at least make it cute. At least make it cute. Okay, or if you know you're gonna tear it down, but there's these ugly real estate photos floating out there, just be like, hey, yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna tear it down. Like, just tell me, keep me posted, Reese. Like, at least tell me it's a tear down. You're stressing me out. God, awful. Truly, look at that hedge. Look at how ugly it is. Sorry for the podcast listeners, but just take my word for it. It's a really ugly hedge. Maybe I'll post this on the show's Instagram account. That's just the hedge. It's really hideous. Okay, everybody, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching Hot and Rich and for supporting the show. Once again, please remember, if you can, to donate whatever money you're able to donate to Black Lives Matter or any causes adjacent to Black Lives Matter. Mutual aid funds are great too. Bail funds are great. I'm specifically putting the link to Breonna Taylor's family's GoFundMe in the show notes. So please check that out and donate if you can. Protest if you can. Wear a mask while you protest, okay? Keep each other safe. Hug your family. And Black Lives Matter. And I'll see you Monday at... What time do I do this show? 4:00 Pacific. Thank you to Jack Allison, my producer, and my husband. And thanks to all of you in the chat. Hey, everybody. Stay hot and stay rich.
I'm so fucking